What's up, you guys? Venture Warrior here doing another video, this time on a story time. You know what? Hold on a second. Okay, so I want to do a brief little story time. I thought while I'm talking, I might as well show some goodies I got. These are some non-collectible related items. I have been splurging a handful since I've been home. Like I bought myself a new pair of shoes. I bought myself some clothes, that I wanted. Um, I do have some collectibles on the way. Kind of took a break from my small soldier binge. um, there currently are some small soldier figures listed for some really good deals, but like I said, I've splurged a lot already, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm debating if I want to go and just go ahead and grab them, considering how rare they are these days. So future small soldier content probably coming back in the future. But I do have some interesting vintage collectibles coming up. Collectibles to show off and do a little review on. Maybe next week, the weekend. We'll see how that goes whenever they get here. Um, but yeah, like I said. So I wanted to enhance the quality of my videos, so I got this little light. Let me get it turn on. Yeah. So this light is magnetized, so kind of see the light's kind of brighter now. It's magnetized, so it can connect. Like the magnet can go on the back of my phone. Changes colors, changes brightness. So yeah, I really like this. I got this on Amazon. All this came from Amazon, by the way. Um, so like I said, well, there's a little sticker that you can connect to the phone. And I forgot it's sliding too. It also does that, so that's really cool. That's really cool, and it folds, and yeah, I really dig that. So definitely got my money's worth with this. Also got a microphone set. This is really cool. So I've still been trying to figure out how to fiddle with this. But it does, I believe it works. It does come with two of these. So that's really dope. There's a little connector piece, you connect it. So maybe on one of the next videos, I will try to, let's see. Yeah, one of the next videos, I will try to get it to rotate. Yeah, I will try to use this so the voice sound quality could be a little bit better. So like I said, I got the little microphone, and I got these. I got little earrings. I've been periodically, you guys will see me wear my little nose ring, and I had like a crossbone styled earrings. So these are like little lightning bolts. I wish they were bigger. I wish the lightning bolts were bigger, but what are you gonna do? I'm just looking in here. Thought I saw something in here. Oh, there's something in here. Oh, I don't remember. Oh, wow. What? I didn't know this was in here. Holy crap. This is my first time seeing this. That is crazy. So I'm happy I didn't throw the box away. That is crazy. So I guess this is like if you travel with it and you put the cable and you put the stuff, put the accessories in the bag. There's a song by an artist, a rap artist, called Fabulous. It's called "Throw It in the Bag." That's a good song. I recommend you listen to that song if you listen to rap music. That's so cool. I didn't know this was in here. You got the instruction manual. That is so neat. So it's like a little showcase. Like I said, I got a pair of new shoes. They're like Hoka's. For those who are familiar with shoe brands, Hoka's are a very popular shoe. Supposed to be very good for your feet. They're just like an athletic shoe, but they're very expensive. I got mine from Dick's. Mine were on sale for like 120, like 125 or something. For those who don't know, that I believe the FIFA World Cup is being held here where I am in ATL. So of course, there's stores have a lot of merchandise for that. I did get a FIFA World Cup soccer jacket, which is like red, blue, and white. Really cool. But again, I don't. You know, you know what. Let's just go ahead. Why not? Let's show. So why not? This is the first time, like I said, I want to try some things differently. So why not show the non-figure items that I've purchased? So like I said, I needed some new clothes. Um, I got this nice athletic jacket from Target. I have an account with Target. It's like a kind of white, but it's like a cream color, very solid for summer wear. In the summer, I tend to wear lighter colors. Um, this brand, what is this brand? All in Motion. Good brand, good. Like the Target's a little pricey. I think I paid like $40 for this. Don't think it was worth $40, but like I said, I like it. It has a hood to it. You guys can see it. Like I said, it's nice. Happy with that purchase. So like I said, I got my FIFA jacket from Old Navy. Haven't had a chance to wear it yet. It's like a windbreaker. There was also a pair of pants that went along with it, and I already do kind of have like a sweatsuit, like a matching hoodie and pant combo thing. So I might go and get the pants. Just with the pants, I had to try it on in the dressing room, and I didn't really bother to do it. And I was like, do I really want them? Or, like, So I might go back and get them because, like I said, they're on sale. So and I don't know how long they're going to be there. So we'll see if I end up doing that. But as you can see, got the little soccer logo, United States World Cup 2026. So I really like that. And a little FIFA symbol on the back. World Cup symbol. Like I said, this is cool. I really like this. I really like this. So, like I said, I might get those matching pants to go along with it. And I was trying to get colors that I don't have. For those if you're someone who is good with fashion, I've gotten better with my fashion. Like I said, I want to get colors I don't have. I want to get colors that go with a lot of things. So, yeah. And here are the Hokas I was talking about. I said these are really, really nice. I see Hoka. Like I said, I don't have a pair of red shoes. Like I said, I've only wore these like a couple times. Like I said, definitely got my money's worth. When I was away in training, one thing I noticed was my drill sergeants always had on really nice pair of shoes, and I was like, like let me get me a nice pair of shoes. And this came a couple days ago. So this is something that if you've been following me for a long time, you've seen this before. And like I said, I've done multiple reviews on this set. And I'm about to explain why I have another one. So I got this recently. This is an authentic original. I'm pretty sure it's an original 1980, 1984, 85. It's somewhere on here. G1 Devastator. Yeah, let me see. That's over here on Hook. What does it say? Yeah, 1984. The 1984 Hasbro Dakara. Yeah, this is an authentic 1984 G1 Devastator in all his glory, all his vintage blocky glory. Those who follow me, I love this figure. This is probably my see his arm launch off. Oh, it's all yeah. The firing gimmick works. Yeah, but like I said, I love the G1 Constructicons. I love G1 Devastator. Probably my favorite figure. One of my favorite figures in all of Transformers. And I've had multiple versions. I think I had the original figures, but they didn't come with their combiner ports. I had an upgrade set that came with them. That was the Junkie on Blacksmith upgrade pieces. Ended up selling that. I got the Walmart exclusive, Walmart reissue, but then I didn't like the quality on those, the plastic. It felt cheap to me, so I sold those off. And then I got the G2 set, and I had that for a long time. And I still had the G2 set. I'm in the process of selling that one as well because I just want to own the original version of Devastator. I also obtained through my Facebook group, I also obtained the Crazy Debbie upgrade pieces, but I'll be selling those with the G2 set because I have someone help me get the X-Transbots upgrade set. So I will do a video showing these guys with that upgrade. But since I already talked about Devastator and these figures already, I might delete one of those videos. Since I already talked about them already, I don't really see a point to do a full-on review talking about the figures. So I'll just show the upgrade kit because I think that will be a fun video to do. But yeah, like I said, if you want him, he's out there. I recommend him. That's all I have to say about G1 Devastator. Like I said, all his glory. So like I said, yes, originally this was supposed to be a story time. So let's get into that. Yeah, I bought I forgot, I bought an anime t-shirt, I bought a One Piece t-shirt. Because you see I'm wearing my One Piece hat, so I'll probably start wearing that shirt a couple times in my video. I went ahead and got myself a little One Piece hoodie to go along with it. So, like I said, I've been splurging a lot, but I deserve to splurge just a little bit. So, I'm trying to think. But yeah, so like I said, story time. So this is kind of a part 2 of my Own Night Mike video. Some things I forgot to mention that I remembered after the fact. So like I said, for the most part, it was a positive experience, but there were times where it wasn't. But I'll give an example. Probably the best week that I had the entire time of me being there, honestly, was so it was after our first cycle. So like I said, if you don't pass your first cycle, you have to stay. That following week you do like a review session. So you're still going to class, you're still being productive, you're still exercising every day, but there's a smaller group of people, so it's kind of like less on you, less on the drill sergeants. It's kind of like a break period, sort of, until the next week where the next cycle comes. Unless, you go to a different company. So that day that people were leaving to go to, BCT, the people who passed, we had a measles outbreak. Yikes. So you don't know what the measles is, just Google it. But it's a disease or illness that can spread. So things were kind of thrown out of whack a little bit, and it could be, and because of what was going on, that could have been a reason why they were kind of, not as hard on us, so to speak. They were kind of going easy on us because, they didn't want us to really stress about everything that was going on at the time. But that week honestly felt like spring break. Like, that's how chill it was. We got our phones 2 days in a row, which never happens. Never. I mean, that never happens. I think Sunday we got our phones for 2 hours. I was able to charge my phone to like 80%. The workouts were fantastic. They were great. Our drill sergeants participated. That was cool. I'm trying to think. We had Fire Guard. That wasn't too bad. We had some people who went to BCT or who were coming from BCT. They were staying with us for, they had different scenarios that they were doing. They stayed with us for that week. It was really cool, talking to those people, learning about what they experienced and their BCT experience. They were giving advice about basic. So that was cool. We made the best of it. Um, and again, oh, I forgot, we watched a movie one day, which was nice. Even though the movie was crap, it was still fun. Like, oh crap, snap it, let's watch a movie. Um, and I think another thing was like the people who were there, like all of us trainees who were there. Like we were pretty. You know, everybody was kind of on chill mode for the most part. No one really, we never really had any issues, or people like they got with the program. They got, for the most part. So we it was a smooth transaction, or not transaction, smooth transition, I want to say. um so that was, like I said, that was the nicest week. After that, it every mini cycle after that sucked, to be honest. I forgot another good thing. One of my good friends, and one of the people I became good friends with, I met him during that mini cycle because he was coming from a different company. He was coming from Alpha Company. Um, and we always kind of joked about it. Like every time I would, like if we were talking to like our other battle buddies or people who weren't there, and they maybe ask questions like, "What was it like when you first got here?" Me and him would always joke like, "Remember how nice it was that week? Like it felt like spring break that week that you came." Um, and then he would always say like, "Oh, like me coming. Who would have thought me coming would be the beginning of the end?" Or it was some dumb stuff we would say, but we would always joke about that. Like, damn, yeah, after the week that you came, that's when everything kind of went downhill. Um, like I said, cycle two was it wasn't bad. Like I said, they started off with a rocky start, but cycle two got their stuff together. Um, Cycle three, like I said, maybe was my favorite cycle, and that was because of the people who were there. Honestly, um, cycle three wasn't bad. Well, outside of me not achieving my goal, cycle three, was cool. There was a lot of shenanigans, like people walking around with having their phones on them. I think I mentioned that before. This is gonna be a little unfiltered. People like giving each other haircuts in the bathroom. People walking around with no shirt on because it was very hot in the living quarters in the bay. Um, there were times when we may have gotten caught like by a drill sergeant because like I said they come through to do check on the bay, do accountability check, and you have fire guard. I explained what that was in my previous video. um, I remember there was a one day we were up, for whatever reason certain people were upstairs, and there were people who were outside. My drill sergeant was smoking the people, which is correctional um, punishment. I forgot what it's called. But basically, they're disciplining you, and they're doing that by having you do exercises and all that stuff. So they were getting smoked outside, and me and another person I think who lived in my bay, he like we went downstairs to investigate, and we saw what was going on, and I think someone like looked at us, like someone outside like looked at the door, like it looks like we were peeping through the door, like there's like a little glass window on the door, and we were kind of like like peeping through the door trying to see what was going on, and like people started looking in that direction, and we took we took off running, because we lived on the top floor in the bay. There's bay one, and then there's bay three, and there's bay two and bay four, and I think there was like a split bay. So bay two and bay 4 were for the girls. Bay 1 and bay 3 were for the guys. And the split bay was for girls as well. So yeah, we ran all the way back up the stairs. It was just, it was just dumb. Just we're just doing dumb funny stuff. Dumb funny stuff. So like I said, there were moments like that. Um, like I said, I for the most part got along well with everybody. There were a few as I like to call, there were a few knuckleheads who I was like, like, yeah, that's not someone I want to be around, or I would distance myself from them. One person was bothered by me, even though I had never really, me and that person never really had a conversation, nor did I ever act, disrespectful or anything towards that person. But yeah, so I had an encounter like that. Okay. I'm trying to think. Like I said, I don't recommend, like, if you meet someone, rather the same gender or different gender, whatever your sexual orientation is, and you like them or hit it off or whatever, keep it on the down low, because that's something that could get you in trouble. It's called fraternization. If two people are not allowed to pursue each other romantically, um, in that program, and a lot of people did. Well, there were people who were interested in each other. A lot of people passed notes. Um, you know, I may have been one of those people, possibly, but I'll save that for later. Um, yeah, if you, like I said, if you guys hit it off or whatever, and think it can be something, then pursue them after you leave and after BCT. If it's meant to be, it'll happen. If not, then it wasn't for you. But like I said, don't want to see you all get in trouble. For those who choose to go to this program, don't want to see you get in trouble for dumb stuff that could have been avoided. And like, so there were situations where people, we had confrontations. People maybe try to fight each other. I got into a fight. It wasn't like a serious fight, but like people just mess around doing dumb stuff. People try to jump each other. Like, it's not seriously like injure someone, but just doing crazy, dumb, stupid shit. Um, all types of stuff. Um, you know, it was an experience. But like I said, I'll say one of the worst experiences. One day, like I said, what they do a lot of, like, if one person messes up, then they punish everybody, depending on what it is. They do a lot of that, and that's, to teach you how to work as a team. But the funny thing is, in the real army, they don't do that. Everybody, of course, if you're at your unit, first duty station, whatever, everybody, you all are working as a team. So everybody, of course, has to look out for each other. We still have to work together. But, for the most part, you're still like, you have a set job, and the other people have set job. Your battle buddies have set jobs. So you all, at the end of the day, do have to do your job. So one person messes up, everybody's not going to get in trouble for that one person's mess up. That person's going to get in trouble, not the whole group, the whole team. Um, but they do that in training. Like I said, I think like one day we got our phone for like 10 minutes. It wasn't even long enough to really do anything, because people were trying to sneak their phones or do dumb shit like that. Like I said, getting smoked because of other people not doing the right thing, getting evicted, which really sucks. Evictions are, if you can't maintain bay maintenance, then you have to pack all your stuff, take everything out of your locker, whatever, your drawers, put it in your duffel bag, carry it all the way downstairs, carry it all the way back. Sometimes they do it differently. You have to take everything off your bed, and one by one bring your sheets upstairs, bring your blanket upstairs, bring your pillow upstairs, and make your bed back up. And like I said, you have to live out your duffel bag, so you can't use your lockers. It makes things very inconvenient and frustrating and ridiculous. And again, like I said, if it's not everybody's fault for for why those things are happening, it's not fair. It's not. So that's why, like I said, look out for each other. See someone doing the wrong thing, respectfully tell them, hey, stop doing that, or this is how you should be doing things. Um, Another one of the really bad ones. Towards the end of me being there, like I said, we had to stay at Charlie for a couple days for a weekend. Yeah, for the weekend. During our last mini cycle, one of the last mini cycles. Well, I think my last mini cycle. Yeah, and it was like I said. So we were going back to Bravo Sunday. Um, so we thought, that morning or that Sunday morning, they would do PT. It'd just be a regular morning for them, whatever, and we, go back to our company. Well, it didn't turn out that way. We were woken up, that morning, all told to come outside, stand in our formation, which is what you do. And one by one, they had different groups, different uh, platoons go back to their bay, I guess, to do a bay inspection. Okay. So again, we're sitting outside, sitting outside. Finally, me and my people, they call the bay that we were staying in. Mind you, like I said, we're not part of this company. We were in Bravo and we were staying at Charlie for the weekend because of the mini cycle. And so our drills could get a break before the next cycle started. Um, yeah, so as soon as we get up there, they, have us stand on toes on the line. Like they have tape around the bay. Inside the tape is it's called the kill zone. That's where the drills walk when they enter the bay. You're not allowed to step in the kill zone. Just part of training, and it's not, it's just something they do. Um, so they go in there yelling and just doing a whole bunch of unnecessariness, yelling and shouting and wondering why people did not remember to empty the trash, which is something you're supposed to do every day. We did it at Bravo. You empty the trash every morning. Well, of course, mind you, like I said, we're not part of this company. So this situation, we have nothing to do. Us Bravo, Bravo trainees had nothing to do with what they were doing. Like there was literally no reason for us to be there. You could have had us stay outside, but no, you bring us in here to be a part of this. That was um, mm, so what they did, they threw the trash on the ground, gave you like 10 seconds to clean it all up. I did not participate. I did not help clean it up because, like I said, well, I wasn't a trainee no more. So of course I could still, depending on your circumstances, you could still get in trouble and be stuck there for however long. But I just didn't see a reason for me to participate because I'm not a trainee and I'm not part of this company. I'm not, like I was kind of like fed up and just tired, mentally tired. Like I was over all of that because I had been there for so long. So I didn't participate, and luckily, I didn't get in trouble. They didn't say anything to me. Um, yeah, that sucked. Like I was like, y'all couldn't have waited till we went back to Bravo to do this, Um, and like I said, it's sad. Like towards the end of me being there, things were starting to get kind of toxic. Um, and that wasn't because of, like I said, my drill sergeants or commander, first sergeant, looking at the time. That was just because of the trainees. And like I said, the longest time someone should really be there is 3 weeks. You should be there for one cycle. If you're there the time I've been there, it's going to suck, unfortunately. And it could possibly kind of make you not want to be in the Army. For me, like I said, I said in my video, I'd like to try again. My feelings still stand on that. I'm just kind of mixed about it. Like I said, just going back to being in that training environment again is going to be a struggle. Mentally, it's going to be a struggle because I was in it for so long. But like I said, I still think it would be good for me. You know, but like I said, if I choose to go back, I want to try Air Force. I think Air Force would be a better fit for me, honestly. And like I said, they have a shorter BCT, which I prefer. But if that doesn't work, then like I said, I'm open to trying Army again. But we'll see how things play out. Um, like I said, there were some days that were it was a struggle. Like it was, be honest. Like I said, I was depressed. It was tough, and I'm grateful for the people in my circle, the friends I made who were there with me. Like I said, we all looked out for each other, all cared for each other. Those are people I could definitely see being lifelong friends. So I'm grateful for that. Um, but I was ready to go. Like I said, a part of me doesn't regret it because, like I said, I did get to do some cool stuff. I did get to experience some neat things. Like I said, I met some good people. Like I said, I got paid while I was there. That's the biggest thing. Money isn't everything, but like I said, helped me out financially. But I didn't achieve my initial goal. So, um, but like I said, those were some shenanigans that took place at Oh Nine Mike. Um, like I said, I don't want this to deter anybody from wanting to get into the program, and I gave my feelings on that in the my previous video. Like I said, if you just want to get your foot in your door and get your foot in the door, you don't care what they give you, you just want to be in the Army, then it's for you. But if you want a specific job, or you're like, hey, I don't have time to be trying to be a recycle. I need to pass on my first time and move forward. Like I said, you have family, or you have responsibilities, you have bills, whatever. Then it's probably not going to be for you. It's going to be better for you to pass it on the outside, where you can take the test in your own time, study, and you have your, like I said, you have your freedom. you have more flexibility on the outside. So those are my feelings on it. um I think that's about it. Like I said, as far as like the passing of the notes, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of bittersweet. Like, so here's my thing. I think I've done relationship oriented videos in the past. Here's my thing on that. Like, if I like someone, I'm open to getting to know them or pursue them and see where it goes. But if like I said, if it's not consistent, if things feel one-sided, or like I said, you don't like me in that way, then I just leave it alone. That's all you can do, is just leave it alone and move on, and move forward. Keep it pushing, basically. Um, so I met a few females who, I was kind of like, okay, um, one person who we still talk, but I don't know how if, like I said, it's gonna be something genuine or not. Um, like I said, I guess, yeah, they were more wanting to be friends, which is fine. And as I got to know them, kind of got to see some things that I wasn't a big fan of, but that could have just been because we were in that environment for so long. Another person, I took a shot and decided to talk to them. They were married and some other things, so that's like, yeah, that's just kind of someone I can really only be friends with. Um, a friend of mm, mm. One of my battle buddies was trying to introduce me to somebody. I was kind of hesitant, but we talked, and you know, I liked them, but they were already in a serious relationship. But they were very, respectful about it. They complimented me on, how I approached them and all those things, and I really appreciated that because I try to be a positive individual. So for someone to express that about me, and you barely know me, kind of says a lot about how I carry myself. So, like I said, again, someone I could be friends with. Um, there was another person from ATL of all places, but only knew them for like 2-3 weeks, so it wasn't really reciprocated, which again is fine. Oh man. trying to think. Oh goodness. Oh, the last person. I thought they were cute. Again, the same battle buddy who introduced me to the other person who was already in a relationship. They they were like, talk to her. And at this point, because I mean, I was leaving soon, especially when I found out when I was leaving, I was like, well, are they wanting to date right now? Because I don't want to waste my time. Like that's where I kind of was with that. Like I do not want to waste my time talking to somebody and it's not gonna be genuine. Rather if it turns into something serious or if it's a platonic friendship. Um, so I went for it, and see me, like I said, I'm introverted, so it's different being on video, being on camera. I can express myself, and I can be, like I said, I'm vocal. You can hear me, all those factors, and that's a little bit different because I'm still in my space, but I'm, like I said, I'm talking to an audience, so I have to bring that energy when I make videos. Um, like I said, in person, you know, I can be a little it could be a little nervous, but I guess I can hold a conversation. I can talk to people. Um, but yeah, so went for it. Our combo was solid. It kind of felt like they were feeling me, and it kind of felt like, oh, maybe this might go somewhere. Couple days pass, and it just kind of wasn't. That's not how it happened. That's not how it went. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was because I was leaving, if that possibly played a role in it, maybe. But I asked the person for their contacts, and in my opinion, I felt like they curved me. If you don't know what that means, just Google it. But and I kind of was like, okay, like like good talking to you. Like that's how I was. That was my mentality. And like I said, I thought they were cool. I wish them all the best. I'm sure they passed. They're probably BCT right now. So I hope things work out for them. And again, I wasn't, because I was even like I was I was hesitant on if I even wanted to talk to them in the first place. So when it didn't go anywhere, I wasn't bothered at all, honestly. So womp womp. like I said, but I also look at it like, hey, talking to all these people, um, all these females, and guys too, just in general, it did help with me talking, like just engaging with people, talking to people. Because, like I said before I went, that wasn't my norm to like talk to people like that. Because, like I said, I'm an introvert. I work from home essentially. I keep to myself. Um, so outside of like I said, if I'm at the store, if I'm talking to like an employee, or if I'm like at the doctor, at the dentist, outside of situations like that, I usually, like I said, I keep to myself. So it did help me socially. I will say that I am grateful for that. It did help me socially with talking to people of both genders. Um, but yeah, that was an experience. So, like I said, I think that's really all I can say. Like I said, I gotta go. That's all I can really say. I just wanted to do a story time. I thought it'd be fun to show off some of the things I've purchased since I've been home. Um, like I said, as of this recording, it's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to any of my viewers who are dads or just people who have their dads. Be grateful for that. Um, yeah. So, like I said, next review, when that upgrade set, because that upgrade kit is coming from China, from a toy store in China. It arrived to the States a couple days ago. So if that comes next week, definitely look forward to that X Transbots upgrade kit video review. I look forward to doing that. Um, like I said, I have some pretty obscure collectibles that I'm gonna do a video on that I kind of just bought randomly. These, and I'll get into that when I do that video. These figure are, again, ironically, 80s toys. So these are another 40-year-old collectibles. This is a series that like I've really always been interested in, and I'm slowly starting to get into it as far as like purchasing the collectibles or purchasing the figures. This is a toy line that didn't take off, unfortunately, but had a lot of potential. So I do look forward to showcasing those figures, especially the one item I did get from this toy line is very, very rare. And I'll get into that when we do that video. That'll be an interesting one to do. But yeah, so like I said, those, like I said, I kind of took a break from my small soldier figures. Because my thing was like I said, I love the small soldier toys. The three I got, the Archer, the Scratch It, and Ocula figures I got. I did a little video with AI. There's this app where you can take pictures of your figures and they'll make like little short animations. I'll probably upload that to YouTube. That'll probably be a YouTube short. Oh, like I said, I love those figures. I haven't pulled them back out yet. They're still in there. They're still in a little container I store them in. Oh, excuse me. Like I said, I love those figures. And it made me just want to build the whole Gorgonite team. But like I said, you know, they're kind of, those figures are, like I said, they're collector's items. They're kind of expensive, and I don't know. I just feel weird. I know it sounds silly, but I feel weird just spending a lot of money on a vintage toy. Like, I just feel like I'm not to say I don't feel like I'm getting my money's worth, but like I said, for the most part, you know, the figures are probably going to be incomplete, which isn't a super big deal. And like I said, they have they're figures from '98. They have limited articulation. They're not like the current action figure with all the posability. So I don't know, I just feel weird spending a lot of money on something that isn't complete and isn't the same quality as a modern action figure. I know that sounds kind of weird, but that's just how I feel. So I kind of want to feel like I'm getting my money's worth if I do decide to get more of the figures. But I'm hoping that someone sells them like as a lot, like a set, and then there have been people who have sold them as like sets, you know, from time to time, instead of me having to buy them individually. Like I said, I really want to build up my small soldier collection. I really want to continue doing that. Like I said, hopefully, fingers crossed, when I start working, you know, I'll definitely have money put aside to spend on getting those other figures. But like I said, I might hold off. We'll see how I feel. If I see some, like someone selling them for a really good deal, which I currently, one of the figures someone is selling, like it's a steal. It's complete, like it's a steal. And I've been debating if I want to buy it right now or not, because like it's like if someone else finds that listing, it's someone's gonna get it. So I'm debating if I want to get that right now or just hold off and just wait. But yeah, like I said, I'm just rambling. So small soldier figures, I'll talk about those in the future when I decide to get more. Like I said, these other couple reviews I have coming up. So as always, like, comment, subscribe, share, and stay tuned for more. Peace, you guys.